Debt is bad. Saving is good. If you borrow money, you failed. If you save money, you're responsible. This belief is taught in homes, reinforced in schools, and baked into the culture we live in. It's repeated in movies, social conversations, advertisements, and even in financial education. It feels logical, it feels safe, and on a personal level, it often is useful advice. Avoid mistakes, and you avoid stress. Avoid debt, and you feel secure. Save money, and you are rewarded with a sense of responsibility and maturity. But here's the uncomfortable truth. In the modern financial system, the opposite is often rewarded. Debt is encouraged. Saving is quietly punished. This is not a conspiracy. It is not an accident. It is how the system is built to function. Understanding this is not about abandoning personal responsibility. It is about understanding the underlying mechanics of money and the economy. Once you see how the system works, you can make decisions that are both safe and strategically effective. The common belief, what we are taught. From a young age, we are told a simple, almost sacred rule: do not borrow unless you must. Debt is dangerous. Debt is stressful. Debt keeps people poor. We are told that if we save enough money, we will be safe. If we avoid debt, we will be free. If we are patient and careful, everything will eventually work out. This advice feels responsible, it feels mature, it feels disciplined, and for individuals, it often helps avoid serious financial mistakes. Avoid payday loans, avoid credit card debt, avoid buying things you cannot afford. These are lessons that genuinely protect people from immediate harm. But when we zoom out and look at the system as a whole, these rules start to fall apart. Because modern economies do not grow on savings, they grow on debt. This is a difficult concept to grasp because it runs counter to what most of us have been taught. We equate financial virtue with saving and borrowing with irresponsibility. But the economy, the machine that governs how money moves and grows, does not operate on morality. It operates on incentives, motion, and leverage. The core shift, a different way to see money. Here's the idea most people never hear. In today's economy, debt is fuel. Saving is friction. This does not mean saving is bad or immoral. Far from it. Saving is essential for personal security, emergencies, and long-term stability. It gives people options. But the system itself, the financial engine that drives national economies and global markets, does not reward saving in the way people intuitively expect. To understand this, we need to stop thinking emotionally about money. We need to look at how money actually moves, not from a moral standpoint, not from a good versus bad viewpoint, but from a structural, systemic perspective. How debt powers the economy. When someone takes on debt, something extraordinary happens. Money does not just move from one person to another. New money is created. When a bank gives a loan, it does not simply hand over existing money from a vault. It creates new money digitally. It credits your account with a balance that didn't exist a moment ago. That money enters the economy immediately, and its effects ripple through the system. Three things happen right away. New money enters circulation. The total money supply increases. There is more cash, more digital balances, more liquidity. Spending increases. The borrower now has resources to purchase goods, pay for services, or invest. Economic activity speeds up. The money circulates, supporting production, employment, and consumption. For example, a mortgage creates construction jobs, supports furniture stores, home improvement stores, and stimulates local economies. A car loan boosts auto manufacturing, dealerships, fuel stations, and logistics networks. A business loan funds salaries, inventory, and expansion plans. Government debt pays for roads, schools, hospitals, and infrastructure without raising taxes immediately. Debt is motion. It pushes money forward, and the economy depends on that motion to survive. Without this motion, the economy slows. Without new debt, businesses stop growing, governments struggle to fund programs, and people lose jobs. Debt is not inherently good or bad, it's neutral, a tool. But it is the tool the system uses to function, to expand, to grow. What saving does at a system level. Now, let's look at saving, not emotionally, but structurally. When one person saves, it is harmless. Their caution does not affect the economy significantly. But when millions of people save aggressively, something changes. Money sits still. Spending slows. Businesses sell less. profits shrink, hiring slows, growth weakens. From the system's perspective, this is a problem. An economy built on constant expansion cannot afford widespread restraint. If everyone decides to play it safe and hoard cash, the engine of growth stutters. Economies stall, recessions happen, jobs are lost. This is why the system has subtle ways of discouraging saving, even if it never says it out loud. How saving is quietly discouraged. There's no billboard warning that says saving is punished. The system does it quietly, invisibly, but effectively. It happens through inflation. If inflation is higher than the interest your savings earn, the real value of your money declines over time. Your account may show the same number, but the things you can buy with it shrink every year. Low interest rates, banks offer near zero interest on savings accounts, making it almost impossible for cautious savers to grow wealth without taking some form of risk. Tax policies. Certain tax incentives encourage spending, investment, or borrowing instead of hoarding cash. Incentives for consumption. Credit card rewards, loans for education, vehicles, or homes are structured to push people towards spending rather than holding money. This subtle pressure nudges behavior without force. Spend now, borrow now, invest now. Do not wait. Patience becomes costly, and caution feels punished. Even when savers try to outsmart the system, inflation silently eats away their purchasing power. For example, a $10,000 savings account earning 1% interest per year in a 4% inflation environment is effectively losing money. You're technically not seeing losses on paper, but your ability to purchase goods and services diminishes every year. Why debt is rewarded. Debt keeps the system alive. Let's break down the incentives. Borrowers spend money immediately. Pay interest, which circulates back to banks. Create demand for goods and services. Support prices of assets like homes, stocks, and commodities. Lenders earn predictable income from interest. Expand balance sheets. Gain control over future cash flows. Governments fund programs without immediate taxation, delay politically difficult decisions, maintain economic growth to avoid recessions or social unrest. Corporations use leverage to grow faster, acquire competitors, increase returns on equity. Debt aligns incentives across all levels, personal, corporate, and governmental. Saving does not. The incentive structure. Do not rely on moral advice. Watch incentives. Banks profit from lending. Governments benefit from borrowing. Markets reward leverage. The system is not designed for caution, it is designed for throughput. That is why careful savers often feel stuck. They follow the rules, they save, avoid debt, live frugally, but they still fall behind financially. It's not personal failure, it's structural pressure. Debt versus saving. System view. From the system's perspective, the difference is clear. Debt expands money supply, increases velocity, supports growth, raises asset prices. Saving slows circulation, reduces demand, creates drag, pressures growth. This does not make debt inherently good, nor saving inherently bad. It explains why rewards are uneven, and why wealth accumulation often favors those who understand leverage and system incentives. The psychological effect. This structure shapes not just money flow, but human behavior. Holding cash feels stressful. Not investing feels risky. Waiting feels costly. People are pushed toward risk just to avoid falling behind. Patience feels expensive. Caution feels punished. Over time, this subtly molds behavior, driving people toward debt and consumption, even when it conflicts with their personal instincts or values. Imagine watching your peers buy houses, cars, or start businesses using loans, while your savings account grows slowly. Even if you are financially responsible, you feel left behind. You may begin to doubt your choices, wondering if patience and caution are actually failing you. That is the invisible power of system design. Why this matters for individuals. Understanding this does not mean taking reckless debt. Reckless debt can destroy lives. but it does mean stopping the self-blame. Personal finance advice often ignores the system. It focuses on what works at an individual level, saving, budgeting, avoiding loans, but it rarely explains what works inside the economic system as a whole. The rules for survival and the rules for growth are not the same. Being careful keeps you safe. Leveraging wisely moves you forward. Success depends on understanding both. The real question. The real question is not, should I save or borrow? The real question is, how do I protect myself inside a system that runs on debt? This requires awareness, not obedience, knowledge, not moral judgment. Understanding structure allows you to navigate it intelligently. Debt is encouraged not because people are irresponsible, but because the system needs motion. Saving is punished not because it is wrong, but because stillness slows growth. Once you understand this, money stops feeling like a moral test. It becomes what it truly is, a tool inside a structure, a lever you can use wisely. The system is neither fair nor unfair, it is functional. Learning its rules, observing its incentives, and thinking critically allows you to make smarter decisions. Debt and saving are tools. The system rewards the right use of tools, not the adherence to moral labels. Once you see the structure, fear fades, confusion fades. You no longer ask, "Am I doing it right?" You start asking, "Am I using the tools effectively?" That is decoded. That is empowerment. That is the reality of modern money. This channel exists for one reason: to explain how wealth actually works, so you can make smarter decisions inside a system designed to move money, not judge your character. And finally, remember, knowledge is leverage. Understanding the rules gives you freedom. Without understanding, caution can feel like stagnation. With understanding, even debt can become a strategic tool, and even saving can be maximized to align with long-term goals. Once you understand this, the game changes. You stop playing by rules you didn't write. You start making choices that truly work for you, inside the system, not against it.